Here's two reasons why I'm still staying patient when it comes to Casper. Now, even though nothing I say is financial advice, this is just my personal perspective when it comes to this, but why am I still staying patient? Well, it's because the way you take a look at it is that if for whatever reason Casper goes back to where it once was, let's say back in, let's say May of this year, which at that point market cap was around 220 million, we're currently over two times lower than that. Now, if we take a look at it, back in, let's say December of 2024, market cap was around 255 million. Again, around three times lower than that as of right now. Now, if we take a look back a little bit further, back in, let's say, 2024 at March, the market cap was around 600 million. So we're currently around seven times lower than that. And in those three instances I mentioned before, were they altcoin seasons? I personally don't think so. Because the way I view it is that if Ethereum went to 10 grand, is that over a 4x from here? I don't think so. If I take a look at Bitcoin, is that going to 300 grand over a 4x from here? Nah. And hypothetically, because Bitcoin is over three times lower than 300 grand, 300 grand is not something that has been ever achieved by Bitcoin in its history, ever. Now, who knows what it could do during the cycle, but I'm just saying, it's never done that. And also, my point of view is that I have never seen Ethereum at 10 grand. So, that's just kind of, again, the way you take a look at it. But I just saw not too long ago Casper at a market cap of around 220 million, 255 million, and also around 600 million. Currently the market cap's around 80 million. It doesn't have to reach uncharted levels before. Or should I say, let me correct myself there. It doesn't have to reach like an uncharted sort of level in order to do hypothetically kind of over 3x or something. Like Bitcoin has to reach a level it's never been reached before from where it is as of right now. And the thing is, I get it. When it comes to the space of layer one blockchains, like Casper isn't necessarily anything that is reinventing the wheel, right? Because there's many layer one blockchains out there. Casper's not the only one out there, and I don't think it's even going to be top 10 currently, in my perspective. But then, why don't I care nonetheless? Well, it's because it doesn't need to. It's like, for instance, let's say I'm playing in the NFL. Do I need to be as good as Tom Brady? Absolutely not. Now, clearly, I'm not playing in the NFL, but I'm just saying, if let's say I did, like being like top 30 or top 40 as of right now, even, right? I think it's already very impressive, let alone Tom Brady, which is, that's just not really, I think, feasible for a lot of scenarios. So then the way you take a look at it is that Casper doesn't need to be like a top 10 layer one blockchain or something like that. As long as it's pretty okay, I guess I wouldn't be disappointed. That's my point of view, but who knows? I cannot control anything when it comes to this. But at the same time, like, I think some people would arguably say that around a $3.5 billion market cap may not hypothetically seem like such a outlandish amount. And it's going to be dependent on a case-by-case basis, but actually, that is a market cap that Casper would have at the price of 25 cents considering current circulating supply. And again, when I take a look at it, just back in March of 2024, market cap was around 600 million. I mean, it wasn't like it was 30 times lower than that, right? I mean, it was, around 6 times lower than that? And I don't think that was even an altcoin season. Not to mention, I get it, like 25 cents, Casper is currently around 42 times lower than that, which may sound a little bit counterintuitive because personally for me, some people like to ask, like, why do I even still care about that? Well, it's because personally, I am dollar cost averaging once a month, even though I'm not telling anyone to do anything. So I'm not doing any more than that, and I'm not doing less than that either, right? It's just exactly once a month, that's it. Now, my point of view is that, sure, I mean, it's not such a good thing if my intention is to exit because, Casper market cap is clearly not doing the best as of right now. But at the same time, if my intention is to dollar cost average, would I be so disappointed in what I'm seeing as of right now? Again, if my intention is to dollar cost average, personally, my answer to that would be no. I am not disappointed because why would I only want to dollar cost average when things are different in a situation where, let's say, the market cap is in the hundreds of millions or something like that? Like, I don't know why I would personally want to kind of only do it then, but this is just my perspective. Now, in the meantime, though, my kind of perception is that Casper is under some stiff competition when it comes to layer 1 blockchains. But does it necessarily mean that I want to give up on it? No, because sometimes people do care about layer 1 blockchains, right? When, let's say, there is some attention for the market and this type of stuff. So to me, I just don't want to give up. That's my point of view. I don't think Casper, again, is necessarily doing anything that is too revolutionary, but it doesn't really need to either. Like, for instance, if I just use this as an example, right? If we take a look at Volvo as a company, as a car company, I should say, is it necessarily kind of doing anything so revolutionary, at least in the past 5 or 10 years? Now, I am not a car enthusiast or anything like that. Like, I'm not into cars, but just generally speaking, it doesn't seem like that way to me. But then still, even Volvo not being like the biggest car company out there of all time, it's still pretty okay, right? Like, even I still know about it, and it's still apparently doing pretty okay as well. And I think that example kind of showcases how being number one sometimes isn't necessarily a priority, right? Sometimes it's not necessarily required because it's pretty hard to achieve. Not every single thing can become number one. There's only one spot at number one. That's my point of view. So when it comes to Casper, does it need to hypothetically be that ever, in my perspective? But it's not something that would necessarily concern me anyways, because Casper as a layer one blockchain, personally for me, if I were to put an analogy on it, it's kind of more so of an acquired taste. That's the way to take a look at it. Now, what do I mean by this? If I'm just like looking into this space and I'm looking for layer one blockchains, there are so many that are already well established, that already have a good following, better listings than Casper, better popularity and all this type of stuff. Like, I know that, right? So that right there is a little bit more kind of, I guess, something that I could easily just focus on. As opposed to something like Casper, which is more something I have to kind of be into the space, right? I'm not, let's say, not knowing this space at all, and then I'm saying, oh, I'm going to enter for a layer one blockchain called Casper. That's not going to be the case. It's going to be more of a case where I enter this space, I'm looking for some projects, and then I find it along the way. That's pretty much about it. It's not going to be like something that I know without even knowing this space, right? Like, I might know Solana, I might know like Algorand or something like that. I might know Ethereum, but I'm not going to know Casper if I don't know this space. So it's a little bit more of an acquired taste. It's a little bit more of a niche, I think, layer one blockchain. But then I don't mind though, because I never just want to hold only one project, right? No matter how much I'm a fan of a project, I don't only just want to hold one project because I'll just never know what's going to happen. So if I never know what's going to happen, why would I only hold one project? Let me use this as an example. Take a look at Cadena. Cadena is a layer one blockchain. But then what happened to Cadena not too long ago? They announced that they were going to be ceasing operations when it comes to the Cadena organization. Is that a good feeling personally for me? I did not feel good, actually, at that moment, right? I was feeling a little bit disappointed, and also on top of that, I was like, come on, really? And you know what? It is what it is. But then guess what happened? Of course, when they announced that, Cadena had a pullback. But then the thing is, because the altcoin space not soon, or should I say, let me correct myself there, not long after that, also had a pullback, it went even more down when it comes to Cadena. But imagine if I was only holding Cadena, right? What would have happened? Basically, I would have been probably kind of demotivated, I would say. But then, good thing I wasn't only holding Cadena, which is why I never just only hold one project, no matter how much I'm a fan of it. So, yes, I do talk about other projects. Like, for instance, the Internet Computer. I also talk about some other projects too, like, for instance, Zebec, or should I say ZBCN. I talk about, again, a bunch of other projects because I never just want to hold only one project. That's just my point of view. But nonetheless, I am still staying patient. I am holding, and I am dollar cost averaging once a month because I will never be able to know if there's going to be an altcoin season or not during this cycle, which is why I'm just staying patient, and that's pretty much about it. Even though I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but this is just personally what I'm doing. And yeah, that's just my point of view as of right now when it comes to this, and just waiting. That's pretty much all I can do actually as of right now. However, I want to say thank you for watching. I hope you'll have a nice day. I'm out. Peace. Bye. It's been Lee the Captain. I'll catch y'all on the next one.